back to Nerd TV for the 2023 rendition here of the Full Throttle Sim Racing, this time Martin Sports Truck Series here at the simulated Daytona National Speedway. My name is Jeremy Stanley. Going to be calling all the action for you tonight. Go over the weather real quick because this track is looking pretty racy so far. I know it's Daytona, but grip can play in effect with these trucks right now. 80 degrees on the surface, 77 in the skies. So overall, pretty cool night here for a mid-late February show for Daytona. Uh, Winds only 2 mile an hour coming out of the north. Let's go on the track. Face as well. Speaking of new faces, my new right hand racing. How you doing over there tonight, my guy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to watch some trucks.
Yes, sir. Not knowing your expertise in these trucks, how do you feel about the truck racing at Daytona in general?
I definitely love it. It is, my absolute favorite series to watch here. I love the pack racing, the drafting, and especially love how dicey it gets when these things try to go down pit road during green flag stops, because these things are so long. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's true, especially we got a lot of new faces, like I said, and so you mix that up as well, and you're gonna learn some people tonight. You're gonna learn how they enter pit road. You're gonna learn breaking points, trying to get there if you come in one big pack, like do you go low, high, that kind of situation. It's always kind of fun to at a super speedway to try to learn people because you're always bundled up next to each other, and it should prevent some fun action here tonight, right?
Yeah, I can't wait to see what we have in store tonight. It's going to be great. I'm excited.
Yes, sir. We got about 2.5 minutes left in this practice session before we go qualifying, and I'm excited to be back, guys. We're going to be with you full season, potentially full year, and the trucks and the cup. Right now, we're on board, at least anyways, for the 2023 A season for the Martin Sports Truck Series, new title sponsor for the the Monday nights here, or Wednesday night rather. I keep calling it, get my week mixed up. And then on Mondays we'll have the Mach 1 Performance Cup Series, which that's great sponsor over at Mach 1 Performance. Sticking on board with us for 2023 should be fun. 34 drivers currently registered for this session, Tim, and I don't know. I'm really looking forward to this race. It's been a few months. We had a long off season. The Nerd TV channel as a whole group has been a little quiet, but we've done a lot of stuff on the back end. You've already seen some new graphics if you're live with us now. We're looking forward to it, man.
It's going to be a great season. Cannot wait to see how this season unfolds.
Got some new colors as well. 23 Brody Hanna rocking our colors. I just wanted to point that out. Every once in a while, Mr. Brody likes to throw us a special scheme here, and a lot of new guys. You see the 7 truck right in front of him. That's going to be Brian Hoskins, one of the new guys here. Usually seeing Grassi in the 7. This time it's going to be Hoskins. So if you are a regular to the Nerd TV broadcast for the Full Throttle Sim Racing, that's one of the new ones there. You got your originals though. Your 19 Richie Coy, your 27 Orion Chapman, 42 Kyle Milliken, 55 Jeff Brayton. Brian Bliss in the 24, Josh Mayu 0 in the 02, but everybody else for the most part, new faces, and they're showing some good speed. This is an open setup series, to my knowledge, as long as it didn't change on me last minute. Open setup, so a lot of these guys running 0.5, 0.6, 0.9, somewhere in that ballpark. A couple guys like Steve and John Gifford in the 0.2s, Tim.
Got some rocket ships under the hood. I'd love to know some of their secrets. Some quick times up there.
Yeah, I can't figure out a setup for Daytona for the life of me. I can do an oval, a 1.5 mile cookie cutter, maybe a road course, but when it comes to super speedway, I know what you have to do, but I don't know what buttons to click to make it happen. So, maybe they'll give us some pointers, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, me, I just kind of put my foot to the floor and hang on, follow the person in front of me, which with these trucks, sometimes that's not the best because the view isn't always pretty.
It's good to follow someone to the front, but if you want to win the race, you got to put your nose out in the clean air. And if you have too much, too much air hitting the front and not enough going underneath the truck, it could present some problems. But these guys are kicked it over. It's time to go qualifying here. We're going to go on board with our practice leader, Mr. Steve Loomis, and that 22 on the boards, though he's 17 on the truck. So let's see whenever he gets on track. Let's see if we can get it with him. Usually like to try to follow one guy. It looks like he's not on track yet. So actually, let's kick it over to the fourth place truck. James Torrey running the straight up chrome red machine here, the vegan yacht Ford F-150. Let's see if we can put this truck in tonight's field. Qualifying doesn't typically matter if you know how super speedway races work. It's going to be just mainly for track or pit position. See if you can maybe group up with your teammates. See, have a flawless pit stop during the green flag situations, which I know, Timmy, you're new to this, but Full Throttle Sim Racing does not usually wreck too often. I don't want to cause a jinx. There's a lot of new people, so we'll have to see. But typically, these races go for long green flag runs, and you're going to want your teammates.
Yeah, of course, teammates always come in clutch on these big super speedway races because you can honestly go from last to first in a lap. You know, we've seen it so many times.
We're going to kick it over now to the 17, Steve Loomis. Going to try to keep up what he had going in practice, being first on the charts with a really fast 47.2. Only 2 drivers to hit .2. Third place was 3/10 off. So either had a really good draft lap or Steve and John have this thing hooked up. But we're going to find out what he's got here for qualifying. As we're watching the 17 go around the track, taking his opening lap, I'd like to give a couple shout outs to our sponsors here. First and foremost, FTSR, Full Throttle Sim Racing League. Been doing this thing since 2006, iRacing since 2017. So this is now their 6th year going for them on the iRacing platform. So 34 drivers. If you guys like to have big fields in your league races, this is your place to go, and they have a pretty cool system with the charters and whatnot over at FTSR.net. Get yourself signed up. 3 series running, Cup, Truck, and ARCA. So whatever flavor you like, go and get yourself signed up at FTSR.net. Mach 1 Performance, the Cup Series sponsor again for 2023. Race fabrication shop started by the late Johnny Coy Jr. It's produced winners from the SCCA and NASA dirt and pavement oval racing. So if Mach 1 Performance is in your area and you need your car repaired or worked on, make Mach 1 Performance your stop at facebook.com/Mach 1 Performance. And then lastly, Martin Sports. That's one of our proud favorite sponsors here at Nerd TV. Small company with a big time product. They have the best sim racing gloves in all of sim racing, hands down. I'm going to turn away from my camera because we got some awesome nerditude ones here. Digital, watch, and all to be extra nerdy. So if you want to pick up a customized glove or just anything that he has on his store, head over to martinsports906.com or martinsports.gg, whatever works best for you. Promo code SUPERNERD for 25% off. And I think looks like Steve Loomis did complete his lap time. Currently sitting 5th on the boards, 6th place actually at a 51.8. Sherwood Williford so far, Tim, has the top at a 51.789.
Absolutely solid lap. You know, you can't, with these, you got to stick to the bottom and just try to ride it the best you can. A little wiggle, and that can cost you a 10th. These trucks are nimble, they're fast, but again, you get out of that little groove, and you're going from 1st to 12th.
Now, you do things a little differently sometimes on these ovals, so I'd like to ask you, on these opening laps, do you run up against the wall? Do you run the middle of the track? Do you run 2/3 up? Like, where's your preferred opening lap line here?
So I do it a little weird. So what I do is when I pull out of the pits and I get up to speed on the backstretch coming out of pit road, I will throw it up against the wall and ride the wall all the way into turn 1, and then turn 1 is when I actually dive it down, and then I'll stick to the bottom. And from there, I'll just ride the bottom for my remaining time on the track. Normally, it pays off.
Okay, so you run up to turn 1 on the wall. That's a new approach. I've not heard that one. You don't lose that speed in the trial at all?
No, honestly, you really don't, because the way you're able to cut it down once you get off of that wall, when you cut it down, it keeps your momentum going. So it's paid off for me. I think the worst that I've started this week has probably been about fifth. So I definitely think it's paid off.
That sounds way better than what Dustin and I were doing this off season over the winter. So I will definitely take that pointer. But it is race time here. We're going to take our ugly mugs off the screen and focus on these guys, all 34 drivers out here tonight. So with that being said, let's get the starting order officially underway here. Sherwood Williford going to take the top spot at a 51.789. And we got Nick Goebel as well. We're going to butcher some of these names, by the way. So we're going to let these guys actually fully grid up here, and then we'll get that official stat running on your screen as they all kind of load in. But like I said, we're probably going to butcher some of these guys' names because there's so many new people and do not have the pronunciations all down. But Sherwood Williford, Nick Goebel going to start 1 and 2. Stephen Hollingsworth and Brody Hanna are going to round out row number 2. Starting in 5th place in row 3 is Kyle Milliken. 6th place to his outside is going to be Steve Loomis. 7th place, Alan DeRanco. Thank you if I got that correct. 8th place, Leonard Stang. 9th place in row 5 is going to be Joseph McKinney. And around out in 10th place, Ryan Chapman. Tim, who do you got for 11 through 20?
For 11th, I got Brian Bliss. And starting next to him, I got Tommy Schaefer, Michael Blackner, and then right next to him, I got TJ Bartel. And I got Cody McKinney. Starting next to Cody, we got Randy Hinshaw. Then we got Chad Curran and Richie Coy. And then rounding out the top 20, we have James Torrey and Tony Stellar. And go ahead and take it back, Jeremy.
21st, we got the 94 of Bobby Trill trying to go ahead and trying to get his second championship here at FTSR Truck Series. Starting in 22nd, the 55 of Jeff Brayton. 23rd, you're going to find Douglas Hess there in the 20 gray and black machine. There in 24th, Colby Mice and the number 2 Ford F-150. 25th place, Josh Mayu in the 02. Also gray and black, same exact skin as the truck right in front of him. So he's got his teammate loading right side him. Going to be 26th place, Justin Diltz in the 91. 27th, Brian Hoskins in that 7 truck. 28th place, Gene Collum there in that Chick-fil-A skin. And 29th place, we're going to find John Gifford, who was 2nd place in practice. So I'm kind of surprised to see that man all the way back there in 29th. And to go to 30th place, Maxwell Solch. 31st, Stephen Eng. 32nd, Rick Webb. 33rd, Timothy Stubblefield. And tonight's last driver on the grid, Mr. Brandon Elder, which I think he usually joins the session but doesn't get on track. So it looks like Brandon will not be on track. 33 guys, Tim, are going to start tonight's race.
I can't wait to see what the action-packed event is going to hold for us here. Cannot wait to see some bump drafting, some insane runs that we're going to get. And I'm very, like I said earlier, I am very excited to get the show going and get that green flag waving.
I'm excited for you to be in the booth and be a part of this because it's going to be a fun ride. Daytona, these guys love to give each other some room. At least that's like kind of like the feel, right? The rule of thumb of this league is, don't race each other hard on lap 1. You're probably going to see a lot of spaced out trucks. They're not going to be door to door banging, first 10, 20 laps in, especially with a bunch of new faces. You don't know how these people run. You really don't. So you don't want to, get heated, get upset with somebody 5% through the race and have to deal with it for the other 95. You got to take it easy. It is a 40% race from the actual scheduled event that the Truck Series runs here in real life. So it's going to be 80 laps tonight for you guys. Pit strategy, there's probably going to be at least 2 green flag stops. Pace car is down. Williford is going to lead the field off to the start of the 2023 Martin Sports Truck Series. And green flag officially out, and this season is underway.
Of that calm start there, that nobody's going for the middle, nobody's jumping around. It's a nice calm start. You love to absolutely see that, especially like you said, you got a long race, you got a long season ahead. You're going to see these drivers again, so you don't want to make any risky moves too early. And it is nice to see that we do got some patience and calmness going at the start.
One truck working its way to the back. It looks like it's going to be Brian Bliss in that 24. That's, you know, not uncommon for that guy to start well and then kind of work his way out of trouble, as he's going to show off his Kyle Busch colors this time around in that Cheddar's number 24. He's got the 3 on the door, so it's one of those things to where, you know, we got new people in trying to get their numbers correct. So I apologize if we call a number wrong, but right now, Brian Bliss, number 24 on the boards, number 3 on the door panel, as he works his way back to 23rd position. Going back up to the front, though, side by side, about 10 rows back, Tim.
Hey, it looks like we definitely do have some pretty good battles going on here. Everybody is side by side. I will say that 30 truck is absolutely beautiful. I do love that Red Bull scheme that we got going there. And then, as you mentioned earlier, we do have that chrome red 6. That is sharp at night. I do love to see some chrome on these cars at night.
Yeah, it's James Torrey there, and I love chrome as well at nighttime. I love the fact, remember the Robbie Gordon days where he had the bright neon orange car for the night races and then the black car for the day races? That I love when people like to do night and days, man.
Well, you know how much I love my orange, so definitely do remember that. My orange is my favorite. If there's an orange race car, I remember it.
I believe that. There's not too many. There needs to be more, and I'm with you. That's one of my top colors as well when it comes to the flashy fluorescent colors. Top 20 for the most part still. Like I said, there's going to see a lot of this huge gap here in the middle. People on the top lane, people on the bottom, and no one really trying to force 3 wide. No one running someone's door panel close. You don't want to net code early on as well. Something you always have to pay attention to running these events online. Just nothing's perfect, and you don't want to take out your championship hopes too early. I want to kick over to the 55 truck, actually. Jeff Brayton going through these new skins here. Not biased again, Nerd TV, black and green. This truck, though, with that flat gray to glossy black, I'm loving that skin there.
Absolutely beautiful. I do love when those pop. I do love my fluorescent colors, whether it be the yellow, the orange, the green, whatever it is. If it pops at night, I'm gonna rock it and I'm gonna love it. So those definitely are some of my favorite colors. But I do actually, real quick, want to throw it back here to, it looks like that 91 truck. That 91 truck of, looks like Bobby Terrell. That is sharp. That is a color combination that I can absolutely get behind right there.
That's going to be Justin Diltz, the 91 there. Yeah, I love the Sim Seats Ford F-150 there. You know, that's a complete different look for him than what it was last season in 2022. So I love the highlighter yellow style with the red accents and then the black to top it off with the contrast. Me being a graphics person, I love how that truck looks too. I'd have to agree with you.
I definitely do want to throw it back there to Maxwell Solchen, that, you know, that black and orange 17. Like I said, I love my orange. I'm number 17 usually, so I do got to give a shout out to that black and orange 17 because those are my colors.
I'm sure you got your eyes all glued on that. While these guys are kind of cruising around for the first opening laps here of an 80-lap event, I'd like to thank one of our sponsors. Probably not going to get too much TV time with them here, but iRacing iFlag, long continued partner with the Nerditudes. iRacing iFlag is the iRacing standard for open source race marshalling lightboard system. My producer, which I forgot to mention earlier on, I'd have to apologize, Mr. Dustin Loxton is behind the camera doing the work once again for us here. He writes me these really long descriptive sentences for you guys. All that means, it's a 64 light emitting LED matrix system that produces up to 30 different iRacing commands, whether if a truck is low or high, if you have a meatball, if you're going too slow and you have the blue flag with the yellow line. This unit has you covered. I have it on my desk, and I use it all the time now since I purchased it. Kind of sits to the right-hand side of my monitor, right underneath it, so I see everything at my peripheral. It's a really bright light. You can turn down and adjust the brightness level, but it kind of completes the sim rig. It's a very unique product that no one really has ever. So if you want something like that to complete your sim rig, head over to iracingiflag.com. Get yourself one of those. Super Nerd at checkout. It's going to get you 15% off. Going back to the racing action here as we're on lap 7, exiting turn number 2, still side by side all the way through. Looks like that number 6 of James Torrey dips down below the yellow line. He's going to give up a couple positions to find safety. drops himself outside of the top 20. So working our way back up to the front here. Little action here from the top guys. Stephen Hollingsworth all over the back bumper. Sherwood Williford. And I see a little bit of smoke come off of one of the trucks. It looks like it's the black and gray truck. I think he lost a motor. I think his engine expired running too much draft. I'm going to try to confirm that for you guys as I'm cycling my camera back. He's still up against the wall. Hitting the wall some more, exiting turn number 2, trying to give all the space to everybody. We're staying green flag, no cautions. Admins do not throw manual yellows here, so if iRacing doesn't deem it to be a caution, you're not going to see one. You see him right there. That's Leonard Stang there in that orange and gray number 9 Toyota Tundra. Didn't really see exactly what happened other than maybe his engine, but it looks like it's kind of up to speed though in a way. He should be going slower if he lost an engine, but we'll have to check back with him here in just a couple moments. As he stays on track too, so engine is still live. I wonder what happened there. There's not crazy amount of damage, maybe just the front end's kicked out. It's the paint scrapped off the side for sure, but we're going to continue back up front though where all the action is here in the top 20. A lot of side-by-side going on. As I was trying to say before, that Leonard Stang incident there in turn 1, the fly was all over the back bumper of that 33 of Sherwood Williford, as he kind of remains the top dog right now on the bottom half of the track, which I'm surprised with the amount of the trucks that are on the top side. We don't see a bigger push, but anyways, the 25 is going to try to take this lap, and he does so. New leader this lap on lap number 10. 25 lost his draft partner there. The 23 of Brody Hanna zooms past on the inside. New race leader exiting turn number 2. Brody Hanna there, gapping the 25 of Nick Goebel by at least a truck length or 2. But now, since he's backed up to the 17, Steve Loomis, we saw his really fast practice time. We know that truck can draft well. Going to kind of help propel that 25 of Nick Goebel to back up to the at least the front spot, if not maybe second place at most. Sherwood Williford for the first time has to do some draft practice now with 23 Brody Hanna. As Tim, they cross the line for lap number 11. Maybe have some mic issues with Tim. I do apologize. We're going to continue to go through the field here. A lot of space given around 9th or 10th position. Looks like the 18, Joseph McKinney, doing pretty solid run here, just giving some space. Love to see this, as we mentioned earlier on, as we're an 1/8 of the way through this race, or a 10th of the way through, sorry. And if you go back to about 20th place, the gap has really picked up. You see the 2 teammates there of Douglas Hess and Josh Mayu, 20 in the 02 identical trucks. Those guys are doing the, we're going to play the Dale Jarrett game here, chill in the back. See if we can have some wrecks go our way, and then we'll make our way to the front afterwards. But we are 12 laps in. We're actually going to take our first commercial break as these guys are running a good race. So we'll be back with you guys after a few short messages. Welcome back to full screen coverage here for the Martin Sports Truck Series here at the simulated Daytona International Speedway. We are currently now 16, almost 17 laps into this 80-lap adventure around this 2.5-mile super speedway. As we're going to go through our top 10 recap here. Brody Hanna, presented by Nerd TV, on the truck and as the actual sponsor for the top 10 recap here. Leading the way after he shot down to the bottom and past the 25 of Nick Goebel. Him and Sherwood Williford have not left each other since then for the past 5 laps rather. Stephen Hollingsworth that last time came back through second place in that number 5 blue, red, and white iRacing machine. So he's trying to, show this league, hey, what's up? I'm new here. I'm going to show you what I'm worth. Third place, Sherwood Williford. I already know he's been running top 5 this entire event through the first 17 laps. Fourth place, Stephen Loomis in that 22 truck, running a really strong Daytona opener. And have some higher expectations for that guy in that 17 this season around. Nick Goebel, who was in 5th, now scored 4th this lap on lap 18. Opening season for him here at FTSR as well, doing a really good job so far. 6th place, TJ Bartell, also another new guy. Let's give me that number 1 truck on the board. That purple and black machine as well. Running a pretty good opener as well. Kyle Milliken, the 42, 2022 season vet, coming back for 2023 with some brand new colors, yellow and green. Completely different scheme from what he had last time, which if I remember right, it was also like a purplish blue color. And then Tony Solari, classic number 11, currently in 8th place. Again, same colors for this guy. He doesn't change it up much. He runs VR, kind of impressive. I don't know if I can be comfortable in a VR at Daytona. A little too much for me. But this guy is manhandling. He does well, really, at these super speedways. He's a pro with this Fury Motorsports with his teammates Richie Coy, Brody Hanna. He kind of helps set up these trucks and cars for them to have their absolute best performance. 9th place, Richie Coy. That 19, we just talked about him. Won a couple trophies in 2022. Don't remember the account exactly, but I know it was more than 2. High expectations for that 19. And then to round out tonight's first Nerd TV recap, give me the number 2 there of Alan Duranko. I have to kind of pause every time I pronounce that name because I don't want to mess that up. Duranko. If you're watching, please let me know if that is correct or not. But that is your Nerd TV top 10 recap as we're on now lap number 20, Tim.
Yeah, of course, and it's been some clean racing that we've seen so far. It's been absolutely impressive. You love to see these guys giving each other the respect that each other have earned, especially with some new guys. Sometimes it gets a little crazy, but very, very impressive to see the respect that's given so far between these guys. And absolutely, it's been a great race to this point, and I can't wait to see what the next 60 laps hold.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little dicier. We're on lap 20. I think Tim, you don't know, but my playbook usually is more garbage than anything when it comes to calling these pit strategies, but it's getting a little dicier. I saw the 42 Kyle down the backstretch kind of shoot up to the track in front of the 17 of Mr. Loomis, trying to make some gains, and you see some people hugging the bottom. I think we're going to have pit stops in the next 5 to 7 laps, I'm going to say it's my guess. And I would just keep in your notebook there, Tim, that Fury Motorsports does a different strategy than most. Expect them to pit by themselves.
Of course, always love that. Always love that teamwork, because that, in the end, and especially in those super speedway races where teamwork is so important, that could be the winning move.
Oh, as the 42 tries to go 3 wide onto the 5 and shoots the 5 up the track there, that being Stephen Hollingsworth, who led that lap last time by, is going to drop himself back to about 7th place, maybe 8th here, as he has no draft partner on the top. You see him up against the wall there off the camera of the 42. That drops that 5, Stephen Hollingsworth, from 1st back to 9th place as 2 more guys, the 18 and 19, go around him. That could have been big because that was the top 3 trucks.
It definitely could have shaken a lot of things up, but as I said, these guys are racing each other with a lot of respect, and they managed to save it, and we stay green.
Little radio chatter starting to happen out here. I think pit stops are something that's in the works at this point. They're 3 wide here with that 5 truck, as he's still trying to cycle back through as he lets the number 11 Tony Slurry in front of his 19 Ford F-150. That could be a team strategy for the pit stop coming up soon. But these guys still remain green and side by side for the top 20.
Of course, and I also do love. I want to make this a point that I do love seeing these Craftsman banners back on these trucks. It makes me feel like a kid again, and I'm very excited for this full season here.
Such a nostalgic sponsor for the truck series. If you guys haven't picked up on the actual NASCAR news at this point, being so close to the 2023 season, but Craftsman is back on board, and half this field is not transitioned. You're seeing half Camping World, half Craftsman. Some people are phonies out here. The red banner is the legit one. Glad to see it as well. I love it. It's as well. It takes me back. The first thing when I saw Craftsman, like, whoa, this is my childhood all over again. To watch the trucks with the Craftsman logo. Let's go.
Of course, I think back to Jack Sprague when Toyota first entered the sport. There were so many things that definitely happened around that iconic time when we did have Craftsman, and I am glad to see them back because I do believe it is going to propel the truck series.
Yeah, could trigger some old fans that maybe have stepped away and goes, oh, I remember that sponsor. Maybe I'll tune in again. Not to say that Camping World wasn't a bad sponsor. They did great for the trucks, but people love to grab on to nostalgic things, and seeing Craftsman up on the window banner, and especially on the door panel where they've been forever. It's cool, man. I'm just like you. I'm feeling a little giddy. Feeling like it, childhood stuff. Seeing it back on the doors. Coming up to lap 25 now of scheduled 80. We're about a third of the way through this event. Even though it's a 40% race to the actual schedule, when they go green flag like this, it makes the night go by pretty quick, at least for us here in the booth, right?
It absolutely does, but real quick to circle back to that vintage thing that we were talking about, that nostalgic feel, I do want to touch on Williford's 33 there on that old Kevin Harvick scheme that is beautiful with the Tasmanian Devil on the side. Like we said before, it brings back that nostalgic feel, so that is cool to see.
I wonder if that's any part due to the number 4, his final season in NASCAR coming up as a driver this year. And I actually just saw a quote from him on social media tonight saying, if there's any issues with anybody on the track, essentially, I'm going to take care of it immediately. Because, Kevin's not really the nicest guy in the field. And with his last season where he doesn't have to hold a grudge, he can do what he wants, right?
Of course, but you know what? Kevin's always been, quote unquote, happy Harvick. And he's always made it known that if somebody does him wrong on track, he'll get it squared away. And he is definitely not one to play with. He will.
Williford, on the other hand, does not have that mentality. But he's a fast drive overall. And yeah, I'm liking that skin as well. Pretty cool touch throw back there. Nick Goebel in the 25, just noticed that he's, back up on that top lane leading the charge with the 42 American right behind him as they're coming up to that 9 truck who had issues about 15 laps ago. They're going to make these leaders 3 wide here momentarily. He gives enough space. Everyone kind of goes through. A little shake up off the exit of the tri-oval, but no harm, no foul. These guys are still going. Now on lap number 27.
Making sure everybody stayed awake right there, but still side by side. It looks like 25 did lose a little bit of momentum when he did have to maneuver there, but everything looks peachy up in the front here. Still side by side battling.
These guys are still winding down laps. We're going to do another quick shout out to one of our sponsors, Roasted Gems Coffee. Roasted Gems Coffee offers premium quality, ethically produced coffee gems from different parts of the world, coupled with delicious blends and flavors that will make your taste buds melt with delight. Roasted Gems Coffee is the only place to quench your caffeinated coffee desires. They value your coffee experience with each order roasted to perfection upon order and shipped straight to your door for peak flavor. So if you have that mellow flavor that you're looking for with just a hint of caffeine, or if you want coffee so strong it'll show up on your drug test, Roasted Gems Coffee has you covered. That's at roastedgems.com. And when you go to purchase, of course, Nerd TV's got your back. You're going to type in Super Nerds in the promo box for 10% off anything you purchase from roastedgems.com. Coming up to lap number 29 now. Brody's got about a truck advantage on the 25, but turn 4, you will see that slingshot happen. as actually Sherwood's going to dip his nose a little higher to the 23 here, and it's going to slip to 23 enough, and 25 almost gets to the door panel of Brody Hanna for that lap lead. Number 23 leads it on lap 29.
Of course, and I did want to just make a point there while we were plugging the amazing Roasted Gems coffee, that the 6 truck did actually make a pit stop. So we will see. Maybe that was strategy, or maybe he was just wanted to get out of the pack a little bit, but that maybe we'll see how that plays out in the end there.
Not sure how this is going to play out either. I noticed in the chats, which I haven't seen this in a while. We have not had a caution, but Brody Hanna has closed pit lane entrances. Not sure what that's about. See how that affects the green flag run. I have not seen that during green flag conditions, really, so I'm kind of curious how that plays out. But top 15 still side by side, just nose to tail, doing their thing. You see the number 6 here, James Torrey. He's coming up now to these guys on the lead. Let's see what kind of 3 wide situation has to come up here. The 22 or the 42 and the 25, kind of going a little higher, trying to grab the draft off the 33, and now the draft off the back of the 6 here. Is they're going to make a last-second cut to go around him down the back stretch? That was a great place to find him, right down the straightaway.
Absolutely. The side draft in these trucks is massive if you can play it right, and it looks like that the 25 and the 42 definitely played it right, as we do see the 25 take the lead here.
Drops down below or in front of the 23, is going to take sole possession of P number 1. Oh, here we go. Big wreck. Got several trucks involved. Richie Coy, the 19, one of them, defending champion in multiple series here. Got hooked hard with the 6 of James Torrey, who was that lap truck going down. And then someone caught some massive air there as well. Trying to see exactly that number. Looks like the 46. That of John Gifford, who was bad fast in practice, and 3 or 4 trucks involved in this one there, Tim.
Yeah, it was absolutely carnage out of nowhere, and definitely need to go check on some of those drivers, as some of those did spin on their heads like a top. That was definitely some brutal impacts.
Going back and trying to watch, I know Dustin's got his work cut out for him looking it up, but if we go to the 19, Richie Coy just looks like he slows up in the middle of turn 4. He hits the brakes or lifts for some reason, and it chain reacts the 55 of Brayton, the 17 as well, and it just caused that domino effect, and people started wrecking because so. And then the 46 of Gifford just glitches the outside wall, and huge wreck here right before the pit road is going to be pretty busy.
I can tell you right now, if that was me behind the wheel of that 46 truck, my eyes would be closed. That was some hit.
You just saw it from the 6th view there, driving underneath the 46. That used to be Simon Magnan. Now it's John Gifford. It's a little change up there, and you see the 6 plow the 19 after the 19's already destroyed the outside retaining wall. Just kind of completes Richie Coy's night there. That truck's got multiple minutes of repair. Not sure what that thing's going to look like after the fact. But for how big that wreck looked, I'm surprised, Tim, the amount of number of people that were not involved. It was only like, what, maybe 4 or 5 people that made contact with each other?
Yeah, of course. You know, the ones that survived did survive in a huge way here. And, you know, we definitely do see a lot of them going down pit road now. Some maybe do have some damage, some maybe don't. But for the ones that didn't and the ones that, you know, survived that, it's going to be very, very good.
All right, well, these guys are getting lined back up. We're going to kick it over to a quick commercial break here. We'll be back with you guys right before the green flag drops. Welcome back to full screen coverage here for the, once again, Martin Sports Truck Series here at Daytona International Speedway. Half a lap left before we kick this thing to green flag. So we're going to do another Nerd TV Top 10 recap. This time, Brody Hanna leading the charge here to the green flag. Second place to his outside is going to be the 25 of Nick Goebel, which he's found a home there on that top lane. Let's see what he can do the rest of this race. Kyle Milliken, third place there in that 42. Fourth place, Sherwood Weatherford, the first time he's found himself on the top half of the track. Let's see if he can maybe get back down or find a new home there on the top. Fifth place, Brian Bliss, the 24 Toyota Tundra, doing his thing up there, holding a strong race himself. Sixth place, one of the newcomers, Tommy Schaefer. Started 12th, now in 6th, doing a pretty good job overall. Steve Loomis finds himself in 7th, kind of hanging out in the top 10 himself. 8th place, TJ Bartel. 9th place, Tony Solari, who's made up 11 spots since the start of the green flag. And around out the top 10 for the Nerd TV recap is going to be Joseph McKinney. Pace car is down. Brody Hanna is going to wait for that green flag to fly from late Larry, which he throws it there. The 25 gets a little bit of a jump and beats the 23 to the line. I don't know how that's going to look. Brody just called him out on that. We'll see what happens. Probably just going to be a warning. No problem there. But clean restart here as they head off into turn number 1, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely clean restart, and it looks like the 25 did just get a warning. Seems like he backed it up, so even if he did jump that start there, he definitely gave up the position, did the right thing.
That is absolutely the right thing. iRacing sometimes doesn't, they're relaxed on that penalty overall, so good call there from Brody to say, hey, you kind of overstepped your boundaries there, and 25 did oblige, headed back to second place, and now we're going back full throttle at it. Respectful thing you will find here at FTSR is that happens all the time, where they know what's right, what's wrong, and if there's something that's a miscue, they quickly try to correct it, and it usually works. But as we said before, there's a lot of new faces, so you don't know these people. But so far, I've seen a really respectful race out there. What about you, Tim?
It's been absolutely clean. Impressive to me to see all of these new drivers, especially mixed in with some new people to the series here, keeping it clean, keeping their nose clean, and working together.
As we're coming to about 5 laps away from the halfway point here in this event, 80 laps scheduled. I think 1 overtime is allowed. Top 10 really just keeping a nice steady line here. The 25 coming down a little lower on the 23 through 3 and 4 to try to pick up any side draft, and it's will going to work for him. Mr. Nick Goebel once again is going to take that lead. I think about the 10th lead change we've had tonight here out of the first 36 laps. 25, really impressed with how he's running so far with these guys.
I'm very excited to see how the remaining second half of this race does play out, especially with the fact that that yellow did come out before the halfway point, so I would love to see how fuel and how tires do play out here for the remaining about 44 laps of this race.
Yeah, I'm going to say, because we saw him go 28 laps without a pit stop before the caution came out, so I'm going to say 1 green flag stop is going to be needed, and they're going to be good to go. We'll see if they can get to that green flag point. As the inside lane starts to pick up a little bit, looks like Brody's going to solely take the lead away, and the 42 and 25 are now side by side for second and third. I don't see that happening too long because the 23, or any truck for that matter, can't really hold their own here at Daytona. You need that side draft assistance to maintain the top spot. And you see him do that. The 25 closes in on his door panels. They are now directly side by side, and actually the 25 will lead the way through the backstretch.
It's nice to see all these drivers here spaced out, absolutely giving each other room, as we do see the 25 and the 33 definitely working together to get that push going into 3 here. Hoping to see that 17 here push through towards the front as well with them. Try to make that high line work as we are coming across that 6 lap car here.
James Torrey, we saw last time, he didn't cause anything, but we saw that incident happen right around the area where he was getting passed. So, but these guys are less bundled up this time around, and it's a clean pass all the way through the top 10, 15 trucks so far. You'll see the 9 is coming off of the pit road on the bottom half of the track. Ooh, the 25 gets right up to the door panel. That 23 trying to get that speed. The number game is better on the bottom, but that 25 working that side draft, keeping that lead away from the 23.
Absolutely. Like I said before, the way you work that side draft here in these trucks is very, very good for you, or very, very bad for you. As we see them doing it every single turn. The best way to do it here would be to get that run off the turn, and try to have the 33 behind the 25, push them on the top. That would be the best way for them both to get in front.
I'd like to make a quick mention as well. I know we don't have too many live viewers at the moment, but if you go back and watch these archive videos and you do want to be a part of the live action, we do like to shout out your guys' comments as they come through to the live feed. So next week, or even Monday when we come up for the Mach 1 Performance Cup Series, if you want to be a part of the chat and want to hear your message shouted out here live with us, feel free to join with us. It's like to do that. Something a little different that you don't see in most other live race broadcasts, but we do it here at Nerd TV. Thanks to Dustin Logston for all the tools that he gives us and the capabilities and whatnot. But 23 kind of pushing up to 25 this time off the exit of 4 there, Tim. Trying to fight back a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. The 25 takes that lead one more time, entering lap 40.
What I'm very impressed with here is how the 25 has had maybe 1 to 2 to 3 opportunities to get down on that bottom line, but he has absolutely stayed up there, committed to the nose of that 33 truck. See, if it was me personally, I'd be gone.
Well, there's 40 laps left in this thing, 40 and a half really. So patience is going to be a little bit of something, but yeah, no, I'm with you on that too. If you see the lead and you want it and it's right there and you know you can get around him, I might be tempted. I know that 33 is bad fast as well. He's probably chomping at the bit to get his truck back up, but at least to the front row of either the top or the bottom. Just doesn't have the help behind him. Steve Loomis kind of laying off a half a truck length, keeping that nose clean, not trying to overcook the engine, as we're just now halfway through this event.
Of course, and I will tell you one thing that I would absolutely love to see here is I'd love to see a 3-wide finish here at the end between these guys, because they have all raced each other so clean and so respectable throughout this race, and that is very hard to come by.
Yep, 2 guys side by side there, as you see them there on the upper half of the screen. Riding on board is Brody Hannon with Dustin's free-floating camera, and that roof camera with the 360 views. They see him pass the number 9 that time, and now they're coming up to one other guy. That's going to be the number 24, Brian Bliss, as we're now getting a really close-up shot here of Nick Goebel's Toyota Tundra, as he just pushes him up and uses him as a pick, essentially, to clear the 25 temporarily. The 25 shoots back real fast here, trying to get back to that top spot.
Of course. Now, what you're watching up in the front, I am watching aboard the 69 here of Steve Ange, and I am going to tell you right now, I would hate to be looking out his front window, because I do see that beautiful Chick-fil-A truck, and the more that I do these super speedway races here, the more I sit behind these trucks like Chick-fil-A, Bojangles. What do you think I do as soon as I am done? I go get it.
Knowing you, yes, that is 100% guaranteed. Now, how do you make that decision, though, is the real question.
Realistically, if they're pushing me towards the win, and it's a Bojangles truck, and I worked with the Chick-fil-A truck earlier, but he's out, I will go get Bojangles. Whoever works with me the best, that is the fast food of choice for the night.
Now, are you riding on board the 69 because of the colors?
I plead the 5th.
All right, 10-4 on that. These guys now on lap 43. We all know the answer to that question. That was answered before the green flag flew. The back half of this main pack here is really spaced out. They're kind of taking that real safe approach. About a truck length or so between each one. And this is where we just kind of ride and relax for a little bit. And while they're doing that, I think we're going to kick it over to our second green flag commercial break. So we're going to run through our sponsors and be back with you guys shortly. All right, guys, welcome back to the full coverage here for the Mark Sports Truck Series. We are currently on lap 48. That means there is 33 laps to go in this event, and things are starting to get a little dicey. You see some two wide, obviously, and almost some three wide there with the top five or whatnot. Some positions have diced up since that commercial break. 33 is Sherwood Williford has made his ground back onto the bottom and in first place. That truck is such a bad fast machine right now. That is actually going to be my pick for tonight's main winner. Brody 3 behind him. 23 is never a bad person to have behind you. Always can get the job done here at a super speedway for sure. The 29, Mr. Tommy Schaefer. That's a new face here in the top three, because he's now leading the charge on the top. Nick Goebel is going to have to get used to pushing somebody now, because he's led that the top lane for so long, and now he's got to make friends here with Tommy to try to get around this 33 and 23 group here on the bottom.
It's been definitely fun to watch this battle up front here with all the side drafting that has gone on, and to see that 33 finally make his way to the front. But I definitely think the 29 and this 25 here are going to have a run very soon. We saw how the 25 was handling the side draft earlier. So if the 29 can copy the 25, I think we're going to have a very, very good battle here for a while.
I'm noticing a couple things with this top line. One, the 25 keeps dipping to the top of the 29. That's breaking that draft. The 29 is not getting that air push that's needed to get to the door panel or even past the 33. Also, if you notice behind the 25 and Nick Goebel, Steve Loomis still leaving about a half a truck length to a full truck length of gap. That's not much air push in the back of the 25. And so when you have that truck line of 4 or 5 trucks deep there on the bottom, going against 2 trucks essentially on the top, you're not going to get to that top spot, right? So the 33 and the 23 have the preferred system at the moment, running with Kyle Milliken and the 42 behind them. These guys there on the bottom are all league veterans at this point. And then the top, minus Steve Loomis, Tony Solari, got some new guys up there. So I think this is making the difference at the moment and allowing the 33 to maintain your race lead.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you here, but one thing I will say is I've definitely seen that 17 and that 11 up top keep that gap, and that could honestly be strategy. Sometimes in these races you are a very powerful pusher or pushy, and you do not want to show what you've got until it comes down to the wire here, which we will see in about 30 laps. So that definitely could be a factor too as to why there is a gap between the 25 and the 17, as well as the bottom between the 23 and the 42, because that's normally my strategy. Don't show them what you got till it matters.
And that could definitely be true, especially knowing the 17. I've already notated it once or twice, but how fast that truck was in practice, being 3/10 faster than even third place. And he's running at such a huge gap behind the 25. I think he's doing exactly what you're saying. He's playing a little cat-mouse situation, gonna wait his turn, and then when the time does matter, he's probably gonna shoot forward and make it happen. Quick notation as well. 4 people have expired for the night. John Gifford, Leonard Stang, Brian Bliss, and Stephen Hollingsworth. 4 guys have backed out of tonight's event. So that's going to be 28 drivers, or 29 rather, left in this race.
I definitely will say here, as we are looking, as that camera pans there, we do see a lot of trucks single file towards the rear of the field, who we haven't seen up front, which they could be also playing it smart as well, trying to see, what the front of the field is going to do, how dicey they're going to get towards the end of those races. So keep an eye on some of those guys that are towards, that single file pack in the rear of the field here, because they can be a very big factor very quick with the way these trucks do have that draft.
100%. And as you were talking there, we saw the 29 make his bid for the bottom of the track in front of the 33. So we have a new race leader solely right now owns to Tommy Schaefer in that black and lime green Chevy Silverado / Roasted Jim's coffee. First time to see him on the bottom, and he's actually holding a pretty good line here now. Nick Goebel is going to have to once again rely on the 17 of Steve Loomis to get him to where he needs to. 25 given that space. He's not utilizing all of the side draft at the moment, but I think we know what that strategy is for the 17. And don't count out Tony Solari as well. Now the fourth truck on the top there in that green and white Menards Ford F-150. He's really fast super speedways. I'm sure he's also just taking it easy through here. But Brody Hanna goes to the top of the field to try to get around. But right now, Sherwood's got a great run here on Tommy. They're going to maintain the lead through 4.
Of course, and every time we do see that quarter panel of that 29 truck with the roasted gems on the side, it is really making me want a cup of caramel coffee right now.
I mean, they got tons of flavors for you. There's like 3 or 4 pages worth of coffee grounds. So if you're looking for any type of flavor, we've already mentioned it to you, roastedgems.com. Start your day the right way. Make sure you get a taste and the best coffee possible with Roasted Gems. As we're now 26 laps left in this race. Still waiting on one green flag pit stop that's left over. Will it make it a green flag or will there be a caution? We don't know. I think that sole caution from the 19 Richie Coy was just a little hiccup somewhere within probably a mechanical issue with his pedals or whatnot, because that truck just kind of lifted and got turned. I don't think it was anything, on the track that was not done correctly. So far I haven't seen any reason why we won't have a green flag stop. We will see one though. There is a guaranteed one stop. I know my book is correct on that.
Absolutely, we are going to see one eventually, and it is going to be interesting to see how that does shape up the field, who's going to go with who, and when they're going to go. Are they going to wait a lap? Are they going to, fake them out and try to stretch it out here? It will be definitely interesting to see how that does play out here towards the end of this race.
I'm also kind of surprised to see this top 5 kind of splitting away. Steve Loomis has now given up 2 truck links between him and the 25. And then Kyle Milliken also giving up a lot of space here, really. So for the race coming down to the wire here, so to speak, with less than 25 to go, a lot of space is being given. I don't see anyone kind of forming up for a pit stop. At least they're not showing it. So as you see, the 23 actually blink through 1 and 2. I think that was the first time we've seen the 23 blink. So hopefully everything's okay on his internet side, but as part of the virtual world, you can be perfectly strong on the track, but your internet could say, no, I'm good, and then your night could be done.
Yeah, of course, and that does make these trucks unpredictable. But as we see, there is definitely a gap that is growing between that 25 and that 17 here. And I definitely do think, by the way I see it growing and growing, that is by strategy. So I'm definitely going to keep my eye on that 17 truck here and see what he does, as it looks like he was trying to squeeze in on the bottom there, but that just wasn't a hole yet.
I mentioned the 5 trucks are kind of breaking away, and all of a sudden the next lap, they must have heard me and said, all right, we're going to time to close this thing back up. And now they're like within a half a truck length with each other, but the whole field is there. A lot of the trucks running the bottom, only 5 currently, currently 5 on the top, the rest on the bottom. So that could be a sign to say, hey, maybe these pit stops are coming up too.
Of course, I definitely do think they are approaching. So we should see some of these guys that are on the top, as we do see the 17 right here looking like he's dropping to the bottom. So maybe the green pit stops are coming a little bit sooner than we anticipated.
One of the trucks shoot up to the top real quick, right in front of Tony Solari. Looks like it's that 18 machine of Joseph McKinney, one of the new guys here at full throttle. So he's going to try to lead a charge here on the top. 3rd truck in line now with Nick Goebel and Brody Hanna leading the way. Tony Solari right behind him. That's a strong group of trucks here. I think with Steve Loomis to the bottom, I think this top side at the moment is going to have a better chance to show what they're worth.
Absolutely do agree with you here. And as I've been going through it all night looking at some of these amazing paint schemes, I do want to give a shout out to that 11 of Tony Solari, as that is a beautiful, beautiful retro looking scheme there, and I absolutely admire it, as I've admired so many other schemes in this field.
He stays so true to that skin. I don't think he changed it up at all last season in 2022C, to my recollection, and Dustin did fact check me real quick. He said I was correct, so his memory is serving just as well, which I'm surprised my memory is even in existence right now. So, but the 23 Brody Hanna has kind of cleared the 29 exiting turn number 2 with a strong push of the 25. Nick, oh, as he pushes Brody to the wall, and here we go. 3, 4, 5 trucks involved. And number 2, 17 Loomis now gets involved as Brody's still wrecking the field. 6, 7 trucks involved as we have their second caution here with 20 laps to go.
I will say I did watch, we do have some nose damage on that 17 here, but I did watch him. That was a very, very good job to back it down and not cream that inside wall. That definitely was some of our fastest guys all night that have been up front, and that could be a huge, huge implication for some of them, depending on how much damage they did how much damage did occur during that wreck there.
Yeah, it looks like the 18 got some light nose damage. The 29, he got hit pretty hard in the right front, but overall, I think that 29 is going to be okay. One of the faster trucks tonight. The 02 ramped over the 23's nose, but I think that was partly due to net coats. I don't think too many trucks got heavy damage. I know the 23 did. I'm going to say the 17 did. Williford, I think, escaped unscathed. If we get an onboard shot of the 33 of Williford, that's going to be a fun ride there.
Absolutely. It looks like he just made some slight contact here, maybe pushed the wrong spot, and from there on out, it was just carnage.
Is on board right now with Williford. He sees the wreck happening, just barely nudges the 29. Just look how close he gets. Maybe he made contact. It was hard to tell there, but we're still clear. No contact here. As now we're watching the 2 ramp off the top of the 23. Still no damage. Steve Loomis trying to come in. Still no damage. Maybe slight. Okay, I just see a little nudge there in the spoiler. But pretty crazy ride as he had a bunch of people wrecking all around him. Did not take any harmful damage. So for the time being, the 33 still has a chance here.
And that is unfortunate there for that 17 because it definitely looked like he was checking up just in case something did go crazy up in the front. So unfortunately, he does have nose damage. Hopefully nothing is too serious with that truck and he is able to get back out and get back to the front where he's been for 99% of the night here.
Yeah, some pretty decent left front damage here. He's going to come and get that thing repaired. Everybody making their pit stops because, well, they had to pit at least one more time for fuel. So this will be the final pit stop under normal situations as they're hitting their stalls and whatnot. I think what we're going to do is take it to our last commercial break, and we'll be right back, and we'll keep you up to date with all the Lucky Dog and any positions that change in the meantime. We'll be right back. Back to full screen action here as we're currently on lap. I have my scoring right. 63 out of 80. Going to be 17 to go at the line. The number 6 on your screen right now, James Torrey, is your Martin Sports hashtag Get a Grip Lucky Dog Award recipient. He actually got that thing safely. He was in pit road, to my knowledge, getting repairs as that wreck occurred. Everybody else was either involved in that wreck or has parked their truck for this evening on the scoreboard. So just by chance, the number 6 will be your lucky dog. That's going to move him from 8 laps down to 7. Still not in contention for the win or anything, but one more position, and if there's a couple more wrecks that might or might not help him advance a position, every lap counts, every position counts. So get it where you can, even if it's 7 laps down. If you're going for a full season, you still have a chance.
Of course, of course. Even with, 63 laps in the books here, the night's still young. Especially, like you said, the season's still young, so anything can happen at this point.
Very true. As they're coming off of 4, pace car should be dipping down momentarily. New leader, Tony Solari in the number 11 Menards F-150. Let's see what he has as the lead truck here on the bottom. On the top side, Kyle Milliken now finds himself in the front row for the first time this evening. Only took 64 laps for these two guys to find it, and a little bit of a luck avoiding the wreck and having a wreck to get him up front. But right now it looks like the outside 3-2 truck advantage. We should see Kyle have a decent run, but as I say that, the whole line shifts to the bottom. Looks like the 94 is going to close in on the back of the 30 of Michael Blackner, his second season here in full throttle sim racing. 50-50 now on top and bottom. Should be a pretty good run here coming up to lap number 65.
And look who's making his way up towards the front is that 21 beautiful Chick-fil-A truck. Me being hungry right now, craving a chicken sandwich. I'm hoping he wins it so I can go get some Chick-fil-A tonight.
That's how you're gonna pick your food. My half-hour Chick-fil-A drive would not happen too far out for me tonight. But I want to go back to the first place truck, Tony Solari. My producer Dustin Amir notating that he is the only Fury Motorsports truck left in the field, with of course Richie Coy going out early, Brody Hanna going out just in that last wreck there. So the only truck to try to get this team a victory tonight for the opening race of the season of 2023. Right now the 30 truck, Mr. Michael Blackner. Excellent pushing here down the back straight. It's going to allow the 11 to temporarily clear Kyle Milliken in that 42 yellow and green Ford F-150 as well. As now the inside lane has the truck count preferred. Again, we got 4 trucks essentially on the top and about 6 on the bottom before there's a small break to the 25, which I know the 25 will be back up there. He's just kind of, I guess, trying to see what line's going to work best for him. He's been running the top this whole time, but you're probably going to need to run the bottom to make some ground up. But as I say that, the top side kind of picks up a little bit here, so even speed. 42 is going to take the lead off the exit of turn number 2.
Of course, and as we are on just 15 laps to go here in this race, it is going to be very exciting to see, number 1, can that 25 get up there? Number 2, can that 11 make that pass? And then we got a new guy up top. We have that one truck of TJ Bartel, which is absolutely a beautiful truck under these Daytona night lights here. I would love to see that truck lead some laps here, because that would be some beautiful pictures for him after this race.
It really would. And I'm kind of curious as well. My pick, the 33 Sherwood Williford, he got that truck fixed up, a little scrapes he had. He's currently running in 8th place. I think if he can pick his line correctly, that truck's fast enough to get back up there and run for this race win. I'm not counting him out just yet. We saw Kyle Milliken a couple laps ago dip down to the bottom in front of Tony Solari, so that's going to move Tony back to the second in line on the bottom. It's going to move TJ Bartel, the first time we've seen him in the top 3, and he might crack the lead here as they come off of turn number 4. As long as he get a good push from the 69 of Steve Ange, I think he might be able to do it. They're going to be side by side at the line. The number 1, TJ Bartel, leads his first lap of full throttle sim racing.
Hey Jeremy, what'd I tell you about those black and orange trucks? We got one sitting in 3rd right now, looking like he's going to try to make that move, or maybe just sit back there and just feel it out for a little bit. But never sleep on those black and orange trucks. They always find a way to make it to the front.
Now, if this pizza truck gets in front of the Chick-fil-A truck on lap 80, are you going to switch up your food order to pizza?
110%, and that is solely because it is black and orange as well.
Beautiful. Pizza is king of the food chain there, my guy. But the inside line somehow just picked up a crazy amount of speed. The 27 looked like he noticed that right away, that being Ryan Chapman. dips to the bottom. The outside temporarily falls apart. It's going to drop your black and orange truck 69 back to 5th, maybe 6th place here at the line. A lot more trucks on the bottom now as the single file advantage to the bottom here.
Absolutely. I think what these drivers are doing is just sitting it out for a little bit. Obviously, with Daytona being such a, draft happy track, you don't need to be anywhere. You can be sitting 10th place on come to lap 78 or 79, and you could make your way to that front, and you can make your way to even a win. I've seen it done before, and it is most definitely possible to come back from where that, back in the pack where that 25 truck is right now due to the incident before. It's definitely going to be fun to see what does happen here in the remaining 11 laps of this race.
Looks like the 25 has found the 55 here as the outside is kind of regrouped, reformed, and they are starting to make that charge back up to the 42 and the 11 here. Is the 21 has to close the gap on the 69. That's your two favorite trucks right now running second and third consecutively on the top lane. They just got to get up to that back of the number 1 and give him a nice shove, or else, that 42-11 combination, especially with the 30 even of Michael Blackner. These three trucks are putting on a strong performance here. And don't count out Ryan Chapman. He's got some new colors this season as well, but he was one of the faster guys last season.
Definitely, like you said, we have that 30 truck, that beautiful Red Bull scheme here. That I want to know, did he drink a Red Bull under that last caution break? Because he came flying up here, and he looks like he is here to stay and contend for that win here.
Officially 10 laps to go as they cross the line that time by. He's running on board here with TJ Bartel, looking back at the whole field that's on the lead lap. Getting a nice little shot there of that pizza Chevy Silverado. The only thing that's not good about that truck is that manufacturer. Fords are leading the way on the bottom here, 1, 2, and 3. But the number 1, it seems to be the very routine thing to do is you get the speed off the top, you dip to the bottom, and you take the lead. And now it's only a matter of time the 69 does that. But the 42 Milliken, actually, as I said that, Kyle's going to change his pace up a little bit, dip out a second from the bottom. It's going to cause the 69 to go, I want the top, but that's going to be the wrong choice. Ryan Chapman follows the 42. Good night, 69. He's going to fall back several spots.
Of course, and they did that smart. The 69 is falling back, but he is holding his own up there, just keeping it clean as we do watch this battle now. Let's see if this 42 truck can pass the 1 on the top, or let's see if he stays up top and battles with, and holds on to the nose of the 27, as it looks like there was a slight wiggle there from the nose of that 27 truck. We'll see how this plays out.
From experience, if you can get one other guy with you on the top lane that can hold your bumper off of turn 2 and turn 4 and ride that wall, the side draft is king, right? And if you're on the top side of someone, the bottom guy usually bogs down. Now, if you get that third lane going, you bog down both the top and mid lane, and just a couple of trucks on the top, you can make some massive gains. That 69 did not, however. So he paid the repercussions of that, drops back almost to 10th place, really. Actually 11th place as my scoreboard updates, and now we're kind of focusing on Ryan Chapman here, second in line on the top. You see a couple of lap trucks here, one dipping down. That's the number 7, goes really low and into the grass. It almost looked a little sketchier than what it should have been, but the outside falls back right now. Bottom 3 are kind of by themselves at the moment.
Absolutely, I do see that top line that looks like it is getting ready for a big run here. As they do come, they're starting to charge, starting to get on the nose on the 11. If he can get that side draft going into 1 or coming out of 2 with that 27 on his bumper, he may be able to come out of 4 when they come back around in front of that 1 truck. So that would be very interesting to see what they can do together, this 42 and this 27, and see if that 21 can even come with him. Maybe get me some Chick-fil-A tonight.
See which truck outperforms the other. This is the first time we've seen Ryan Chapman second in line, pushing the guy, and I'm kind of curious how that 27 is going to perform. He's made his way through the field. Now he's here. He's got to perform with coming up to 6 laps to go. Can he do what that 42 needs him to do, which is get him propelled right now? There's a little bit of a stalemate on the top. You know, they got 6 trucks up there, and that number 1 and the 11 right now are kind of ruling the bottom at the moment.
Of course, and I absolutely do want to touch on this 1 truck and this 11 truck. They gridded this race 14th for the 1 truck, and the 11 truck was gridded 20th. They're now running 1 and 2, so it's amazing what a little bit of patience does do at a track this big, and especially when you are working with the right people that want to go to the front with you at the right times.
This is going to be sketchy. The leaders are coming up to lap trucks that are side by side at the moment. They're going to go 3 wide on the 17. Looks like they're going to go 4 wide, splitting. Oh, this is going to be huge. And here we go. The 42 Cal Milliken into the wall. The lap trucks gave no space here. Somehow they're still all going straight. I don't know how. Oh, that was huge. Milliken, the 42, paid the worst price out of the guys not giving room. They had to split it 4 wide, and they closed the gap on them. I have not seen that kind of situation happen in a long time, and that changes things up there. Our trucks that we had for you picked, I guess the 69's still there, but where's the Chick-fil-A truck? He's back there, what, 15th place?
The Chick-fil-A truck unfortunately had nowhere to go and did hit the truck that was in front of him.
More wrecking. The Chick-fil-A truck. Gene Cullum makes contact with the 02. Josh Mayu down the backstretch trying to cut the gap between the 42 and the 02. Not sure what happened there, but turns himself on as you're on replay here. Or we're on replay. We're seeing what happened there for that wreck, but still green flag. There's not an iRacing official yellow, so we're not going to have one. You've seen the 21 now. That's Gene Cullum there on the apron. Cruising along at 109 miles an hour, limping his way back to pit road. That's going to end his night potentially. But now we have 3.5 laps to go now.
Of course, and I am up here in the front watching this 9 truck breakaway as the 30 just did a big wiggle on the bottom lane behind this 1 and in front of the 33. And it looks like the 11 will be taking over the lead.
Whoa! Sorry to cut you off there. Block gone wrong. The 11 wanted to take the lane, and the 1 did not lift. We're coming to crunch time. Don't blame the 1. The position was not to Tony Solari. That was TJ Bartel's lane. And, you know, he let him know, hey, that was me there. You can't do that. And that causes multiple trucks to get injured in this one. It's 3rd caution tonight presented by iRacing iFlag.
Yeah, of course. That was very unfortunate. I did love the beautiful scheme that was on that 11 there. And fortunately it is a little banged up, but it is going to be very interesting. It is going to be very interesting to see what the field is going to do here when they all bunch back up. Who can get some damage repaired? Who can regain some power here? So let's see how this plays off when we do go back green in a few laps here.
Yeah, it's going to be overtime. I think my pick, the 33, got some decent left side nose damage there as he runs into the back of the 11 Tony Solari. It shoved him up to the outside part of the track. Nothing too significant, but the 30 Michael Blackman on one of those trucks that was running super strong, heavy impact with the 11. So it looks like for that one, 69 was kind of involved with the main ones was the 30 of Blackner, the 11 of Solari, the 33 of Williford, the 55 of Brayton. He gets sideways. And of course the number 1 there of Bartel that kind of rounds out 5 or 6 trucks that are involved in this one, as it's actually 1 of 3 green-white checker attempts, not just 1, but you get 3 efforts. And you just saw the 33's view of that wreck. Got thrown to the outside, some decent left side damage there.
Absolutely going to be a wild set, maybe set of 3 green-white checkers here to finish out this race. But like I said, with the field bundling back up here, would definitely love to see, you know, that 1 truck. He has played it smart all night long. Unfortunately, the 11 truck did as well, just made the move maybe just a little bit too early to go to the front and go to the bottom there. But I would love to see, cannot wait to see how this first of 3 green-white checkers does play out.
Well, as these guys are cycling through with about a lap and a half left, looks like Lucky Dog is going to go to the number 18, Joseph McKinney. He's going to get his hashtag Get a Grip Mark Sports Lucky Dog Award recipient winner. as he's now going to head back to the tail end of the field. This should put him on the lead lap. He was only 1 lap down, so this is big for this machine. I know he's got some damage, so he might not be up to 100% par, but if there's another wreck, he could, reap the benefits of that and move up from his current 15th position in the field.
Of course, and as we do look at that 18 truck there, hey Jeremy, what color is that truck? And black and orange.
Just a touch of orange. It still counts.
It still counts. It's still got some orange on there, so you never know. Maybe that truck can go for it. I'm just very biased towards these black and orange trucks. They have such a spot in my heart.
You got the nose for him. I know it's not the right term in the virtual world, but you got the nose for him. Pick him out as soon as you see it. I'm keen on the high contrast colors myself. If you've watched our broadcasts, all 2022, every once in a while we'll pick out a high contrast color truck. That's just my thing. I love the fluorescent colors matched with blacks, or at least a darker toned color, like we're seeing with like the 55 of Brayton, who's currently running in 4th place on the top lane here. That 69 your truck, that pizza machine, kind of a contrasty scheme, running pretty strong. But who do you think right now, Tim? We got a half a lap left before we go back to green flag. This is a green flag or a green white checkered attempt number 1. My pick is currently out of the running at the moment. Who do you got going?
To be honest with you, I am going to go with the 25 of Nick Obel because he has been strong all night. He has shown strength with his side drafting and with his main pushing abilities. And I think, if it wasn't for that one incident that he was caught up in, he would still be, obviously he's only in 6th right now, but I think he would honestly be leading this race. And I think he's going to be leading this race come 2 laps from now.
That truck does look really clean. There's a little bit of scraping on his right side door panel on top of the number, but outside of that, I don't see many dings and dents in that thing. Producer Mr. Dustin Loxton coming over the radio saying 94, Bobby Terrell, season champion of 2022A, if I remember that correctly as well. Waiting for the green flag to fly, and there it goes. The one with a decent start here. Nope, did I lie to you?
Looks like it was delayed.
It was delayed.
It was delayed a lap.
I was like, this is a really slow start, but then I looked down. Yeah, it was delayed by 1 lap. They fooled everybody. Someone called the audible, called the timeout. We're going to go 1 more lap before we go green flag.
I think this is just one good look. 1 more pace lap for these trucks before we quite possibly do see some carnage here towards the end.
I think we're done seeing the wrecks until after the checker flag flies. But again, this is a couple of new scenarios. We got a bunch of new people, and we saw how the room given on the lap trucks is not there like we're used to seeing. So this could be a whole different ball game. There's a lot of new faces here in this main pack. So who knows? I think we're done though personally, and I think Ryan Chapman at 27. I think he's in a great spot with the 55 and the 25 behind him. I know the 55 is not looking the best of shape, but I think him with the 25, they got the speed. I think Ryan Chapman's sitting in a good spot to at least dip down in front of the 1 if he gets a good launch here on this restart.
Of course, it's going to be very, very exciting to see these remaining laps. And personally, like I said, I don't think we're done. I do not think this 1 green-white checker is going to be all that we do use here.
That's a hard decision to make for a prediction. You might be right. You might be right. It's so much in the air. So many different variables right now. New year, new drivers, new everything. Pace car is down again. I don't think they're going to extend it this time. Green flag officially flies. The 1 of Bartel's going to lead him, but that 27, Ryan Chapman with an excellent start here on the top. Let's see if the 55 and 25 can help propel him off of turn 2. Right now, Bobby Terrell in the 69 as well. Going to be leading the charge here on the bottom as the 1 does get the advantage. Now we got a turn. The number 66 going to bring out the caution for the 4th time, presented by iRacing iFlag. Stad Curran, huge contact now with the 17 of Steve Loomis. Also with the 18 who just got his lap back, Joseph McKinney. Hard impact as well. 3 trucks I think I only see 3 trucks involved. Well, the 91 Justin Dilts as well. So 4 trucks involved in this one for the 4th caution tonight.
Yeah, of course, of course. Just looks like another situation between like with the 1 and the 11, where in my opinion, the one truck, the 66, it looks like thought the lane was there and it was not. Sometimes that causes some of us to make
Well,
moves.
you called the mayhem is not over. As we get another caution, it's going to bring us to attempt 2 out of 3 total. And yeah, he was not clear on that 54's nose. Thought he had it, and just within a mere, 6 inches, did not make it. Turns himself around almost a 360, and unfortunately collects a couple of the trucks in the process, including that bad fast 17 Steve Loomis, who his great start went from mediocre to mediocre, then to worse here at the very end.
Of course, yeah, that is definitely unfortunate for that 17 to be caught up in that, because like I said, it's my number, so he had a little spot for me too there. I was definitely hoping to see him. Like I said earlier, I thought he was hanging around. Would have loved to have seen him been up here towards the end of this one to battle for that win.
Now this does bring into the picture Dustin's pick. Mr. Bobby Terrell is going to be. He's just been laying really far in the back for the most part, middle of the pack at some times. Haven't really seen him up in the front too much. He kind of mingled around mid-race. But when the cautions happen, Bobby has been able to avoid everything. Currently going to be starting first truck on the outside row. If he can get that jump on that one, we might see Dustin's pick here in Victory Lane.
Yeah, of course, we just might, and then we might see that black and orange 6 to 9 there too. But I also do want to notate some of these these top 5 drivers right now. The 1 truck started 14th, the 94 started 21st, the 27 started 10th, the 69 started 31st, and the 55 started 22nd. They're all, top 5 right now. So impressive patience, and like they say, patience is a true virtue. Incredible patience by them tonight, and look where they are now when it does matter the most.
Patience is one of my very few traits that I can say that I have, and absolutely agree with you there. I want to kick it over as the number 2, Alan Duranko is making his way around the field. He is going to be your 3rd recipient of the hashtag Get a Grip Martin Sports Lucky Dog Award here, as he is now crossing the start finish line here to come back from 1 lap down. He's now going to get his lap back. We saw the 18 do this just a couple laps prior. Of course, that did not pay off for him as he was involved in the latest wreck. Let's see if the 2 can now looks like he's going to be starting around 12th place currently on the boards. Let's see if Mr. Allen can make use out of this position and try to get himself into the top 10 before this thing is officially done.
And keeping my tradition going here, that 2 truck, absolutely beautiful. I do love that color combination aboard that truck. That is a sharp looking ride. And then as we look at that Craftsman banner, definitely love that.
I like the multi-blue / teal color combos, and then when you can throw in the goldish yellow color, very crisp, very clean. I'm with you on that one. I'm enjoying that skin overall.
Of course, and especially with this being the new season here, it is nice to see, everybody who does come in with a fresh wrap, or everybody who does come in with a certain theme. Love to see those.
Yeah, new year, new truck. Very common to see a lot of people come out with new skins. Not too many people like to change it up, or to not change it up per se, like Tony Solari, just run same scheme all the way through. Even a lot of the guys that didn't change it up all of last year, they all got new skins for the most part this year. Complete different color combos, sponsors, this and that. It's going to leave about, 12, 13 trucks here in this lead pack here. We got a half a lap left before we go back to green flag for green-white checker attempt 2 out of 3 total. Still going for that 69 right now?
Honestly, yeah, I'm not going to change my mind here. I'm definitely going to say that. I do think also the Chick-fil-A truck. I would like to see the Battle of the Foods. I would definitely like to see the Battle of the Foods for this last remaining, hopefully last restart here. But I, again, think they're done.
You're looking to see what's going to be on your dinner when this thing's all, or dinner table rather, when this thing's all said and done. Don't blame you there. I know your other pick, the 25, running third in line on the top. They're in sixth place. Don't count him out. We know he can pass some people, and this might be the first time we're going to see some three wide passes. You're going to have to get the job done, especially if these cautions are going to come out kind of quick. You basically got to bank on one lap good, and then one lap you just got to be there. Green flag is out for the second restart here in overtime. Clean start by the leaders here. Looks like the number game might be on the bottom here momentarily. 4 against 3 as you see the 1, the 27 to Chapman's going to clear Bobby Terrell temporarily on the top. 55 of Brayton going to try to clear the 94 as well. The 25 dips down. He wants some speed from the bottom as these guys head off to the backstretch.
Absolutely. As we see, it looks like the 27 is going to try to take the top line as that top line is moving with that 94. That's definitely going to slow down the 1, but we're going to see if that 55 can get that momentum back going. It definitely looks like it's a 27. He will not clear, so the 1 still hangs in there on that bottom line.
Coming off of turn number 4, coming up to the last lap this evening. Lap 87 of now 88 scheduled laps here. 1 to go. And right now the bottom's still looking strong, but the 1's going to get a little squirrely here. It's going to allow the speed to scrub from the bottom. Oh, the 1 turns Bobby Terrell, the 94, the 69, the 25. They're all on the wall. They start wrecking still, but somehow they'll end up going straight at the final product. Oh, no. Josh Mayu lift off. That guy just launched off the track. They're continuing to wreck down the backstretch. And it looks like Ryan Chapman is the only truck not involved with this, so he just has to keep that truck underneath him for 2 more corners. Does not have to worry about anybody passing him. And he's going to bring home the season opener here in the Martin Sports Truck Series coming off of turn number 4. For the final time, Ryan Chapman sees the checker flag flying from late Larry or premature Patrick, whatever you want to call him. Martin Sports winning moments goes to that 27 of Ryan Chapman.
Absolutely incredible race that we did see here tonight. Went a little longer than the scheduled 80, but it was absolutely a thriller to watch that end there. And as I said, I definitely didn't think they were done wrecking, and they were not.
No, that was huge there. The 1 that tried to move up, it looked like, to make that 3 wide effort. The 27 blocked that run. And then the 1 there of Bartel just said, you know what, I'm keeping my spot. And then he actually moved up a little bit, tagged the 94, which caused that mayhem. 27 truck, the only one to not get involved. But you're going to watch 02 of Mayu here. Watch this guy. We might be too zoomed in on this truck, but as you can hit the wall and just gone, deleted. Somehow came back down onto the surface. I thought he was gone from the actual track, but huge wreck there for the 02. Unfortunate. He is a half a track away from finishing this race and cannot make it to the start-finish line.
Yeah, of course, with that 02 taking flight there, I think what happened was that virtual airplane that we do have here at Daytona, it was already off the ground, so he wanted to take flight too, just like that airplane that we do see every once in a while here.
As we see the 27 Ryan Chapman doing his burnouts on the grass and asphalt combination. Very common here for Daytona. We're going to go down the finishing order here. Ryan Chapman, the 27, of course, taking home the checker flag this evening to open up the Martin Sports Truck Series here every Wednesday night here on Nerd TV. Second place, the 55, Jeff Brayton. Third place, the 25 of Nick Goebel, which was your pick late. Made a strong run back to third. Fourth place, the number 1, TJ Bartel. Fifth place, Gene Collum. Sixth place, Alan Duranco. He took that lucky dog and went from 12th to 6th with it. Nice job there. Rick Webb, 7th place. Bobby Terrell falls back to 8th. Steve Ange goes to 9th. And to round out tonight's top 10, Kyle Milliken. Who do you got, Tim, for 11 through 20?
We have that 11. In 11th, we have the 02 of Josh Mayu. We have the 30 of Michael Blackner in 12th. In 13th, we have the 29 of Tommy Schaefer. In 14th, we have the 22 of Stephen Loomis. In 15th, we have the 18 of Joseph McKinney. 16th, we have the 66 of Shad Curran. 17th, 91 of Justin Diltz. In 18th, we have the 6 of James Torrey. 19th, we have the 33 of Sherwood Williford. And rounding out the top 20, we have the 20 of Douglas Hess.
21st, Tony Solari. 22nd, going to be Timothy Stubblefield. 23rd, Colby Mice. 24th, Brian Hoskins. 25th place, you're going to find Brody Hanna. 26th place will be Randy Henshaw. 27th, Richie Coy. 28th, Brian Bliss. 29th, Stephen Hollingsworth. 30th place, Cody McKinney. 31st, Maxwell Solsch. 32nd, John Gifford. 33rd, and the last truck in the field, Leonard, staying. We're going to take our last quick commercial break. We're going to round up the top three for you guys so we can get our post-race interviews underway. We'll be back with you after a few short messages. Welcome back to Nerd TV for the Martin Sports post-race show. I'd like to present with the top three drivers of tonight's race. We'll get their words and thoughts of the season opener here for the Martin Sports Truck Series. Third place looks like Nick Goebel. We're going to go ahead and bring him into the chat here. Mr. Nick, do you have a copy?
I do.
What a race, man. That truck, that 25, debut here for you at FTSR, looking really strong. The top side seemed to be your preferred lane of choice. How'd you make it through the wrecks, and how'd you find yourself in third?
It was. I felt like it was all just luck. Once we were able to get the high side rolling, we were able to pretty much maintain with the inside lane. For heck, seemed like 30, 40 laps, something like that. But it was really just all about the clean air because I was having trouble pushing with overheating issues and stuff like that. So I did whatever I could to make sure that I tried to stay in the front. I gotta apologize to Brody for getting into him there after the stage. I forget what lap it was, but I gave him a bad bump down the backstretch, and that was my fault entirely. So apologies to him and his guys. It certainly wasn't intentional by any means.
Yeah, notated there. Yeah, Tim, what you got for him?
I just want to know, I kept an eye on you all night. That truck is bright and beautiful. How many practice
Thank you.
laps do you run here with, with teammates and stuff like that and friends? Just because I was watching the way you were maneuvering that side draft, and there's not many people that I have seen manipulate that side draft that well.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, that took a lot of practice. Teammates have been running laps here for what seems like all week. It took a long time to really kind of figure that out. I was getting a little bit too close in some areas, and I knew I kind of had to back off. But That was really the only way I was able to maintain that momentum on the outside was, just getting to that right rear quarter panel and just try to yank him back just a little bit.
Yeah, of course, of course. It was definitely impressive to watch. Like I said, I kept an eye on it all night because it was. I love the way these trucks draft, and to watch you manipulate that side draft was very impressive from my point of view tonight.
Hey man, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I want to shout out to all my guys over at McKinney Racing, Cody, McKinney, Joey McKinney, Randy Hinshaw, our sister team, Schaefer Racing with Tommy Schaefer. All of you guys here, we appreciate you putting on, a great show for us tonight. Um, yeah, that was really crazy.
Yeah, pretty eventful last half of the race for sure. But you made it through, got yourself a top 3 finish. So congratulations on that, man. And we're looking forward to see you all season long.
I really appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
You as well. Appreciate it. That was Mr. Nick Goebel, the number 25 season opener here for him at FTSR. Now, Tim, it's time to bring in second place. A guy who's been around this place a time or two, Mr. Jeff Brayton. You got a copy?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing pretty good up here, man. Not too terribly often we get to bring you up here to the Nerd TV booth. Walk us through your race. You had a pretty strong truck. You able to hold the top half of the field for the most part tonight, and you brought it home second. How'd you get the job done?
Just being patient. I had some early damage in the first yellow, and about a minute worth of damage, and I was able to get that fixed. And yeah, I'm just super lucky. That's kind of what it takes at Daytona sometimes.
Of course, yeah, and I definitely, I want to say too, you started 22nd, so obviously, you showed a lot of patience tonight. How frustrating is that, when you do start in the back and you do have to work your way towards that, especially in the beginning of the race when there wasn't, a bunch of yellows that I'm sure you were probably hoping for. So how did you maneuver that and stay calm to get up all the way towards the front at the end there?
Well, once the top line starts moving, it's not so much frustrating. Then it really gets moving, and you start working your way up. That's the only way. I never can get to the front through on the bottom. Working, you got options on the top, and that's kind of the way I roll.
Yeah, of course, of course. Well, Jeremy.
Yes, sir. Yeah, just the floor is yours, Mr. Jeff. Who you got the shout out tonight before we head you back home?
I'd just like to give a shout out to my wife Emily, my daughter Samantha, and mom. How about that?
10-4. And I actually got a last question too. What's your expectations for 2023 season A? What do you think that 55 has in store for us?
Oh, I need to get a win badly. But I don't know. I'm shooting. I'd like to get top 10. In points at least.
Well, starting at or finishing second place on the season opener is definitely one way to do that. So congratulations on the runner-up spot, man. Good luck to you this whole season.
All right, Jeremy. Thanks a lot. It's good talking to you guys.
Likewise, man. And that was Jeff Brighton, the driver, the number 55 Blackwater machine. Now it's time to bring in tonight's race winner, the number 27, Mr. Ryan Chapman. Do you have a copy?
I do, you guys. What's up?
Hey, you're doing pretty good up here. Just had a good time watching you guys run that season opener. And if you're watching the broadcast, we got a confetti flying for the first time for you, man. Awesome job. Congratulations on the season opening victory here at
Thank
Daytona.
you.
Not an easy task. How'd you get it done?
Oh, just a lot of help from the team, Elevated Esports. They've been helping me out so much. Gotta give a shout out to Dilts, Alan, Duranko, Shad, Kyle Milliken. They just all helped me get better and just get better at these super speedways. Also, I got to get a big shout out to my friend Gerard. He spent hours with me at this track, just getting down the lines, hitting the middle for multiple laps clean, just trying to be patient. And that's what I did tonight. Started 10th, kind of fell back a little bit, worked my way back up, and kind of just stuck around the front. And then when it came time to it, we went for it and hoped it worked out, and it did.
Yeah, of course, that's awesome to hear. And again, congratulations from me on that win. That was a heck of a race to watch tonight. And I definitely kept an eye on that beautiful truck that you do have there. So my question to you would definitely be, did you see yourself at the start of this race? Did you see yourself in victory lane tonight? Because that was a very, very great drive that we saw.
Honestly, no. I honestly was just shooting for a solid top 10. And then the car just got better and we just got in the right positions. And when it came down to it, me and Kyle were just full blower going for it. And we made a wish and it worked. That's all I got to say.
That's awesome. That's incredible. Yeah, congratulations again.
Thank you. But I do want to give a few shout outs to our sponsors. We got SimOcean, we got 213 Simware, we got Elevated Outdoors, RC Gaming, and the paint came from Splash and Go Graphics. Does phenomenal. You'll see the cup car. Looks beautiful as well. Hopefully we can get that victory lane.
Yes,
Of
sir.
course.
And also, I got one last question for you.
Yep.
How did you see your 2023 season going? You kind of showed some potential, through 2022. You had some really good, strong runs. Are we going to see more of these victories to open up this year?
Yeah, we made some changes over the off season with what we were doing. I had a good solid run last year. It's more just kind of see where we settle in. We had some good pushes there at the end. Phoenix, we almost had Richie there for the win, but yeah, I feel like this is going to be a much better year. There's all the pressure's off now that we got to win, so we can just go out there and just focus on running our race, keeping it clean, and trying to put it back in victory lane and coming back talking to you boys.
Absolutely, man. Looking forward to it. Congratulations on the victory once again. Go ahead and celebrate with the team and have a good rest of your night, man.
Thank you guys. You too.
Thank
See
you.
you next time.
That was race winner 27, Ryan Chapman. Opening the season strong. Did not get a victory last season. This time he starts it off early with a fresh W to take home from Daytona. Mr. Tim Tripler, that was our first race together. How'd you think this event worked for you tonight?
Yeah, I think it was great. Definitely as I grow and I get to know these awesome drivers, I think I could definitely make it, you know, more personable. But I think it was a great race, absolutely phenomenal race. These guys are going to put on an amazing, amazing season to come here. And I'm very excited to be with it for the long haul and watch and eventually come down to see who our champion will be at the end of the season.
Yeah, you just wait until the season progresses. It's going to be quite an awesome event here for 2023, no doubt about it. This is going to bring the end of our broadcast for the opening night here in 2023. We've shaken off some cobwebs, got the rust cleaned up, and now it's going to be full-fledged action. The rest of the way, we're going to shout out some quick sponsors here before we let you guys go. First and foremost, the league that you're watching, FTSR.net. Get registered if you want to be a part of the action. 3 series. I know they got ARCA, Trucks, and Cup. We do the broadcasting for both Monday and Wednesdays currently. Races start at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's FTSR.net. Mach 1 Performance, race fabrication shop. If you have a race car and they're in your area, head over to facebook.com/Mach 1 Performance and check out everything they do there. Sim Racing Points, an all-inclusive league points management system, fully customizable system that helps you maintain, keep organized, all the points, all the stats, everything that your league needs to do. This software has it covered completely at a really good price point. That's at simracingpoints.com. iRacing iFlag. Get notifications in a fractions of a second faster without all the focus ever leaving the racing action. Visit iRacingIFlag.com for a full product line. The Butt Kicker. Get that ultimate feel from the race car with the haptic response system that attaches directly to your chair, and it puts you in the action. Every bump on the track, you feel it in your seat. You can pick that up at thebuttkicker.com. Team Watson Racing Setups. Get quality professional built setups for all your asphalt oval needs. Visit teamwatsonracing.com for pricing and packages. And lastly, Roasted Gems Coffee, premium roasted gems just for you. Start your day the right way with roastedgems.com to get a taste. All right, guys, that's been myself, Mr. Jay Swifty, nickname change. Jeremy Stanley, of course, as you see on your screen. Tim Tripler, right-hand man to my right, this season here for the Wednesday Truck Series. And Dustin Loxton, appreciate you as always doing the camera work behind the scenes. Might get you on camera sometime this season, but until then, you guys stay safe as always and get your nerd on.